Welcome to the NLP UK Training Podcast. I'm Fraser.
And I'm Steve Kay.
And today we have the lovely Megan O'Connor with us. So guys, I would like to talk about something that I saw on social media years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually copied it and posted it on my Facebook page for my business. And it still really resonates with me today. And this little meme, the wording on it was, whatever you do today, do with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt. And that's a great little image, isn't it? Because when you think about small children, they haven't been kind of contaminated by life yet, have they? They haven't been contaminated with all the nonsense that us grown-ups get contaminated with. And they have this innate confidence, don't they?
Well, they've already learned to walk on their own with a bit of encouragement from us. They've already learned to talk on their own. And then they go to school, the 4 and a half, they're told to sit still, be quiet, fold your arms, sit on the carpet, don't make a noise, don't run around, sit still, be quiet, be good.
Absolutely.
And then what happens is they get compared with each other.
I'm told you can't do that.
No, or if you're a good girl or a good boy, when you've done this, you'll get a prize. So we kind of start from the point of view that everyone's perfect, don't we?
Absolutely.
You know, we start from the point of view that everyone's perfect, but once you start making comparisons about them, they kind of realize that maybe they're not. And it's always the best kids in the ones who are good at football or good at sport or good at academically who get praised by the teachers, even still.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad enough, you know, when I was at school with comparisons, but they still do it. And so that's why I think the natural, playful creativity of I can do anything with that box I want to kind of gets ground away.
And I think that energy that kids have is just amazing. You know, they've got this absolute belief that they can be anything, do anything. There's nothing holding them back. And that energy just shines through.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
Josh said to me once, I mean, he's 21 now, but he said to me once, he's big into Formula One. Daddy, who do you think I'll be driving for before I go to Ferrari? What a great question that was. He was 4 or 5. Who do you think I'll be driving for? Assumes he's going to have a seat in a Formula One car.
Absolutely.
Before he goes to Ferrari.
Wouldn't it
We
be...
soon ground that out of him.
But that's the thing. These
He'll be
things
too tall, son.
get ground out of kids, don't they? What if we could go back to that 4-year-old self and have that kind of confidence? Have that kind of energy. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, well, we can.
Yeah. But most people don't realise that, Steve.
But we gather loads of dust in what we call our script. Before we carry on with this, just tell us the story about your daughter and energy with Scott, because it's really funny.
So when we go on a long walk, family walk, and my 5-year-old will say, I've run out of energy. I can't walk anymore. And my husband will say, take my hand and I'll give you some of my energy. And she holds his hand and he does this thing where we pretend it's going through. And then she takes the energy and she just skips along like she's Superwoman.
Wow.
I love it. Love it. But again, isn't that interesting? She's got that belief that she's now got energy.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between running out of energy and having energy. It's got nothing to do with how much energy you actually have. It's a belief that you've got energy.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do we live our lives like we're a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt then?
So for me, it's about realizing that that's actually my natural state.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
You know, all of the other stuff is just nonsense. All of this stuff that we kind of put ourselves down about, and we do this to ourselves. It's not necessarily about what anybody else does. Quite often it's what we say to ourselves. You know, oh, Callie, you know, you can't do that. What utter nonsense. Now, there are some things that I can't do. You know, I am not omnipotent. I can't be everywhere at the same time, for example. But actually, pretty much all the things that I want to do and get joy from, I can do.
Yeah.
So seeing that within yourself, that's wearing that Batman t-shirt at whatever age you are.
So what we're saying is we're still the same person we were when we were 3 or 4. It's just that we've had loads of stuff fed into our script about you can't do that because you're not as good as they are at this. But we're all individuals. There's 8 billion people on the planet and none of them are like us.
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
a good thing, really.
And actually, that kind of goes back to what you were saying on one of the earlier podcasts, Meg, about when you did your NLP course, how you kind of dusted off some of that nonsense that was in your script around not being good enough.
Yeah, definitely. And what I found as well is that I'm just able to be like more playful as well. So because you don't have that concept of how you're going to come across or what are they going to think of me if I say this, and you can just be yourself, I found that I'm still that playful 4-year-old. Like I like to sometimes just have a laugh and just say what's on my mind and jump up and down. Like sometimes when my husband comes home and I really want to be dramatic, like I will just run to him and jump into his arms and he's got no idea.
Oh, lovely.
But there's that where I just feel like I can do that. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've got to change, in that I can just be that playful without thinking, what's he going to think if I just jump into his arms, you know?
But that playfulness, we kind of forget that we're allowed to do that. There was a study that I read recently, and I can't remember the precise number, so I may have some of these numbers wrong, but it was a psychologist that was measuring the intelligence of small children, and what they were measuring was their intelligence around creativity.
Yeah.
And they found that 98% of children under 4 were creative geniuses. Then they started school, and that figure went down. Then they got a bit older and went up to high school, and that figure went down again. By the time they'd reached adulthood, only 2% were still scoring as creative geniuses. And what this study was saying was that we kind of forget how to play. So we're kind of taught at school, we talked about this earlier, about sitting there with our arms folded, looking at the teacher, being a good little girl or a good little boy, and doing what we're meant to do. And we lose that ability to play.
Have you heard of the book? Did your kids have the book Snail and the Whale?
No.
Did it, Julia Donaldson?
No, I don't.
It's all about a little snail with an itchy foot who decides he wants to leave the rock.
Yeah.
And all the other snails are saying, sit still, stay there, don't move. You know, it's dangerous out there. Anyway, this snail hitches a ride on a whale and goes all around the world and sees lots of different things. And then the whale gets stuck, grounded. So the snail goes off and writes on the blackboard of the school where the kids are. By the way, they're all being told to sit still, don't move, stay stuck. And the kids read the message from the snail that the snail's written on the blackboard, and they all go down to the beach and call the fire brigade and rescue the whale. Then the whale goes off with the snail on its back to the rock, and all the other snails jump on and go for an adventure.
Oh.
Great metaphor for life.
That is
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of the main kind of theme, the message from this episode. You know, if you want to have the confidence of a 4-year-old with a Batman t-shirt on, put the damn t-shirt on. It's a bit like buy the damn shoes. You know, you can make that choice to be playful, to have that confidence, to get rid of all of that stuff that's holding you back. It's not real. You know, all the things that you think are holding you back, They're not true. They're not real. This is something that we talk a lot on our NLP programs and our 3 principles program about how ingrained our script can feel. It can feel solid, but actually when we take that dust off, it's amazing what we can do, isn't it?
It is.
So guys, go out, put that Batman t-shirt on and go and have some fun with your lives.
On a whale.
Absolutely.
Ride the
Of
whale.
a time.
So guys, that's the end of today's episode. We shall see you next time. So it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And bye from me too.